Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Milton Hall and Volmer. And today it's basically the Eurostar exclusive part 2. It's a follow-on from yesterday's live stream that I did, but it's kind of going to cover a similar kind of thing to what I was doing yesterday, but there has been some developments since I did the live stream yesterday. Some of the developments were from last night. There's some further developments that happened this morning, and I thought I'd share all of this with you. And for those of you who may have missed yesterday's live stream, then I'll quickly go over it all again today. But the thing is, because this is a recorded video, the quality is going to be a lot easier and much better on the eye. So therefore, sometimes with a live stream, things can get a bit kind of fuzzy or pixelated at times, or maybe not quite as clear. So hopefully this video should clear up anything that you might have missed, and just give you a better picture as to what I've done and how I've gone about doing things. So that's kind of what today's video is going to be all about. So if you're not interested in Eurostar and you're not interested in the drags and things like that, then please, feel free to switch off and wait for the next video or something. So on with the video we go. So like I said, I'm just gonna give you a brief overview of yesterday's video for those of you who missed it. And again, like I said, because it is recorded, the quality will be a lot better and clearer. So back last week, I ordered a Eurostar train set from eBay, and like I said, I'm just going to quickly go over some of what I said yesterday, but that's going to be very brief. Basically, what it is as a child, I used to see the Eurostars go through Kensington Olympia, which you would have seen in some of my videos. That I've gone to Kensington Olympia, and that is my home sort of station when I was a child, that I used to go to see freight. And at the time, the Eurostar was running out of Waterloo, and it used to run through Kensington Olympia to get to its depot at North Pole, which is now being used by the GWR 800. And way before Behringer, when I was still living at home, and I had a train sets and model railway at home, this was one of the sets I had, and I sold it. I got rid of it. I don't know if it's just because I thought, well, maybe I've grown out of it, and with me being transgendered and everything, maybe I just felt that, look, I'm just going to deal with this. I shouldn't be, it's kind of one of those denial things that a lot of transgendered girls go through. It's like, so you just kind of throw stuff away. So I'm going to be like this now instead of like that. And so I don't know if that was one of the reasons why I got rid of it. But as my life's developed, and I've come to realise that I should just be myself, and got back into model railways because this is always fundamentally a part of me. Obviously I've got back into it, and now the Eurostar has done a full circle and come back. Also, because I've also seen some footage of recently the 373s have been retired, stroke scrapped, and I've seen some videos of them being dragged along. And again, it got me thinking that I wanted to do something like that and recreate something like that for myself. And I haven't seen anybody do it as in home layouts, but I have seen a model railway exhibition do this a long time ago, which is Tonbridge West Yard. So if you haven't come across it, they're still around on YouTube, and I have actually seen them still do the drags on their layout of the Eurostar. But how they've done it, I don't actually know. I don't know if they did the same thing as me, or whether they've done a different way of connecting it. But I'm going to show you how I've done mine, and then, well, explain to you how I've done mine like I did yesterday. But like I said, it should be clearer today because the picture is in 1080p. And so this was the set that I got, and I was lucky to pick this up. Now the box is a bit on the rough and ready side, as you can see. It's a bit tatty and all the rest of it, but it is complete, and it was complete. So everything you saw on the front of the box is what I actually got. which is the Eurostar, the track map, the track, and the analog controller, because it was analog control. Although it was actually, to my surprise, DCC ready, because I didn't realise that they had to put it to DC ready, so there was a DCC socket in there. But like I did mention yesterday, I did have some issues with the power car. At first, I thought it might have been a controller, but as it turns out, it was the motor. The motor was overheating, and it was so hot you couldn't even touch it. So I managed to contact the seller. I only got this for a song, just £60 for the whole set, which I think was a bargain. I think I spoke to Alan about this. I think the track work on its own was worth pretty much that much without the actual unit. So I mean, I did get a good deal, so I was reluctant to send it back. I spoke to the seller, who agreed to refund me the price of the motor, which I bought from Peter Spares. I've since ordered that, so I'm waiting for that. But like I said yesterday, I did go and see Paul at my local model shop, and basically to buy some paint, and he's explained to me that he did actually, by luck more than anything, that he did actually have a complete brand new motor for a Eurostar, which it was quite amazing, because many people turn around, and model shops even turn around and say, I've got to order that for you, and basically you got to wait for it. But he actually had it, and it was actually cheaper than Peter Spares. Peter Spares sold me the motor for £10.99 plus the postage, but that doesn't matter because that's covered by the seller who sold me the Eurostar. And I paid additionally the £6 for the motor from Paul. So I've only actually spent an extra £6 for the motor, and the other motor is now a spare motor. So if I have any issues with this again, then at least I've still got another motor that I can use. I also got a front bogie from Paul yesterday, so that will be to go into the dummy power car. So that's all looking great. But the developments, just to kind of move it along, is basically to do with both the power car and to do with the drag, the sort of dummy sort of HST, the failed or the scrap Eurostar, whichever you want to call it, which I'll get onto shortly. Now, the power car is going to be quite easy to talk to you about, because as you can now see, it has been up and running, or you will see in a clip, depending on where I put that clip in this video, but you will see it up and running. So that was a very quick, easy job to fit. It's just literally, like I said, you take a couple of screws off the bottom, you pull the chassis away from the body, and then you can just literally, unclip the bogie from the motor, and then you just drop out the motor and replace it. It doesn't take that long at all. So I did that last night. So now the the power car is now up and running, and like I said, I've ordered an additional 2 coaches, which I'm waiting on. Apparently they're on their way. So when I get them, I'll let you guys know, and I'll complete the set hopefully. And so it'll be a nice train. So let's move on to the sort of modified dummy unit that I bought. So I've ordered the I've ordered the pantographs for it, and so I'm just waiting on those as well, so I can repair that, and then this will be complete as well. So let me get up close and personal to you about this one, and then I'll explain to you what I've done and how I've modified it. So I'm back, and this time a bit more up close and personal, but there's a reason for that. I just wanted to show you in a bit more detail this Eurostar. Now this is the dummy power car that came with the set, and I'm going to replace this bogie here because this one doesn't actually have any pickups on it, and so I want to add lighting to it. I haven't done that yet, but I want to add lighting to both ends, so I need to find a way of getting power to the decoder to power the lights. So that's what I bought from Paul, was the pickup bogie, which will be this bogie here to be replaced, and I'll keep this one as a spare. But as far as the this sort of dummy, sort of failed scrap drag Eurostar, if you want to go down that road to make your own, this is how it comes. And as you can see, it's completely moulded. You know, there's no way of getting at it. But what I did was I took a little Dremel. I took my Dremel to this, and with a very fine drill bit, like the good old days when you were kids, you know, it's connecting the dots and to make the picture. And that's basically what I did here. And as you can see, there's a line just there. And if you follow that line all the way around and all the way around the front, it comes all the way around across to the other side. And I think you can see that line there. There it is. And you're basically drilling tiny little holes along that line all the way around. And at the bottom, as you can see, there's also another line that goes all the way across. And basically, that's what I did. I took the Dremel and followed that line all the way around and just cut that off, that front bit off. Because, like I said, I did look, and it is an invaluable thing to do. Is if you're not sure, just go on YouTube and have a good look at what you're doing. You know, whether it be the Class 66 or 373 or whatever. If you're going to modify anything, just have a good look at what you're doing, and that will always help you out to make sure that you're doing it right. So, you know, like for example, you just don't want to be cutting away at this blue kind of air dam kind of thing, because so that's why you just follow the lines along the bottom there. You can see it, I hope. And yeah, you can just follow that line all the way around. So basically that's just as a guide, it's a template. And then that will give you the right shape. And then it's a matter of sanding it off and tidying it up. And then you keep that nose bit and you split that in two on the line at the front. And then you can put that in to create the Eurostar look, which I will show you once again via my iPad. So this is a picture of my on my iPad of the Eurostar with its front opened out, and you can see quite clearly that the air dam, the blue air dam at the bottom, hasn't been touched, and you're following that line that I showed you. So that was what I was going for. So, and I showed you yesterday, but for those of you who did miss it, I'll show you what I've done. And I'll explain to you that since yesterday, one of the developments is I've actually modified it further still. So, because those of you who watched yesterday's live stream will have seen that I was having some trouble with it derailing and with it uncoupling. The issues for that was, one of them was that the gauging was out on that particular unit, and the other issue was that the coupling was slightly too high, and there was this kind of mismatch of the couplings where the loco was at one height and the Eurostar was slightly higher, so the coupling was almost like hitting like that, so it wasn't connecting properly, and so it would disconnect quite easily. I've since fixed that today. So what I've done today is I've now modified this further. Now what I did, as you saw, it's been, or you might have seen, or you're going to see, is that it's been running behind the 59. Now I did put a bar behind it straight away afterwards, but the bar wasn't level like that. It was like that. And what happened is that the bogie on the 59, instead of sitting flat on the track, it was slightly raised. So the front wheels weren't touching the track because it was being raised to match the bar to get to the height of the Eurostar. So I had to find a way of like bringing that bar level like that so it sits right. And that's what I've done today. So I've looked at other ways, and it's very similar to what I did to the HST. Here is the original coupling that I used on the Eurostar. And basically that sat in the recess, and then that just literally sat on top of the hole. But like I said, it was still too high. So this, I need to find a way of getting this lower. So what I've done is there's a bit of a recess, like I said, at the front of the Eurostar. And I had a bit of foam board here. And I made a template to sit inside the body so it matched the same height. Because here it is here. So this is where the flat bit is. This is where it's lower here. But then there's another height discrepancy inside. And to cover that height discrepancy, I needed to make it level like that, which is what I used the foam board for. Now now sits inside. I've now created a new, made a new coupling. So now this sits lower, which I'll accompany some pictures of what it looked like before, and you'll see that this actual bit here was actually level with that line there. Not the blue, not with the blue air down, but it's level with the grey. Well, I say grey, it is sort of greyish bit. So it was sitting too high. So I've now managed to lower it. This bit here is a removable bar. So if you wanted to, like I said, you could put a KD in it. So I'll take it out just so you can actually see it for yourself. There you go. So you can see it for yourself. So you can actually fit a KD on it, or you can fit a Hunt's couplings or whatever you want to fit. But this now works now. This is now at the right height. So this was slightly higher, too high, and now it's at the right height. So it's been fully tested with the 59, and it's now level and been pulled around nicely, no problems at all. So I've made that further modification that I did yesterday on top of the modifications that I've already made. So that's what it kind of looks like at the moment. It still doesn't look overly pretty, so I've got to disguise it a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a paint job inside, and I probably want to see if I can cover it up in some way, because like I said, you can currently see right through the chassis. But that is actually how it does look, as you see from the photograph. So it's just me finding a way of sort of covering it up and tidying it up and making it look like it's nice. So, but at the moment it still looks a bit ugly. But again, when you're towing it behind the 59 or whatever you're towing it behind, it basically still does the job, and it's effective and it works, as you've seen. It didn't work so great last night when I did the live stream, but I'm leaving the live stream up there because it's kind of good to see the sort of improvements on it, and you can see now that it's actually running a whole lot better, and it just fits. This, by the way, is just a bar. I think it's a Helgen bar. It's a non-electrical bar. So this is a Helgen bar that I had. I don't know why I've got a Helgen bar, but I've got it. I think I've got some Bachmann ones, but I'm not quite sure if they're shorter. They might be a little bit shorter, so I can probably get the gap a little bit closer. So it definitely works a lot better now. So I'm really pleased, as you've seen as per the clips, or if I haven't added them in yet, you'll see afterwards. So I'm just going to put the bar back in, and it's just going to run with the bar now. So the bar's now in now. So like I said, but whatever loco comes on takes up that bit. of the coupling, so you're only sort of getting about that much. But it does look more realistic and a lot better, and it's run, like I said, it's running a lot better. So I'm really pleased with that. And like I said, when I get the pantographs, I'm going to be replacing the pantographs on the top here. This one isn't going to have any lighting because there's no need for it. But like I said, I'm going to light up the power car and the dummy car. But at the moment, because I couldn't get the DCC side of it working yesterday, because of the motor, I just wanted to double check that it was the motor that was causing the DCC side problem and all the other issues that I was having with it. And now I've fitted the new motor in it, it's running like a dream. Like I said, as you'll see either in the clips or you haven't seen. So that's pretty much where I'm at with this. It's really cool because now, like I said, I can use a Eurostar. Like I said, this isn't one that you can open because they don't open. You literally, if you want to create something like this, you're going to either have to scavenge and modify your current one, or if you can find a spare dummy power car, then convert that into one of these like I did with the HST. And here is said HST version. Again, this now works lovely. It does work a treat. Again, it looks a bit unsightly in some ways, but to be honest, it is what it is, and I think you can't really argue with that. I think it does the job, and once the loco's up against it, it is pretty close, to be honest, and it is very effective, and it does work. So, you know, if you want to do this, then this is the way to do it. Again, this is an old Lima, so this isn't like super detailed models. These are just cheap models, which I've just converted to get them to where I want to do what I want to do with them. I'd like to do a few more of these. I've got a few plans. I've got the transfers for it. I just haven't got the logos for it. So there are a few other projects in mind to do with these as well. But so that's the HST version. This is the Eurostar version. So at least now they can both be dragged along around the layout, which is cool, which you don't see on too many people's layouts, which is why I like it. And like I said, it's a bit of a homage to the 373 Eurostar. They've been taken out of service recently. I just wish I got to ride them. So until the next time, it's goodbye from Mildenhall and Volmer. So bye-bye.